All right. This is an introduction to a couple tools in Photoshop. One is the lasso and the magic wand, and also the masking tool. I'll try to hit all three of them in about 6 minutes or so. So this image, I said File, New, 5x7 landscape. So let's get Photoshop going. Make an empty document, New. Right, I've already got it set up, but if it wasn't, you go Photo. Don't type it in, it's already preset for you, so just find the one that's correct. This one particular assignment is 5x7 landscape with a transparent background, and then you're going to name it last name, first name. I believe I said, what did I say? Lasso. Okay. I'll just click OK and get started. All right, let's open up the image into Photoshop. That's required. It was on the assignments folder for photography students. Public assignments. There it is. Drag it onto your desktop. I've already got it there, so I'm just going to drop it into Photoshop. All right, so unsnap. You've got two images open, one that you've created, one that we just opened in Photoshop. Unsnap the image that we're going to use, and using the Move tool, you don't use any of the other tools, push it in. It's much too big. The original file size is well over 5x7, so you're going to have to zoom it down, Command ++ or minus, or use the zoom tool, whatever you're more comfortable with. Edit, transform, and scale. That's how big the image is against the 5x7. It's cropping, so we want to shrink it down. So hold Shift, and don't force the image to fit the 5x7. There'll be some natural cropping on either side. So you have a little bit of extra on either side of the image. So decide if you want to keep a little bit more of this side or more of this side. I think visually I actually want to center the building a bit more, so I'm going to push it as far as I can over. All right. We're going to use the lasso. All right, there's three choices of lasso. There's the regular old lasso, and it's a freehand lasso, but it's not very good for trimming straight lines because you have to have a very steady hand. So I can hit delete like that, but again, you have to have good control. So I'm going to choose the polygonal, which is the middle one, okay? That one there. Set your feather to 2, which softens the edge of the tool, so not such a hard cut line. And now you can use it in the straight lines. You can just click and then make an anchor point and click like that. Okay? So you would hit delete. It's a nice soft feather along the edge. I'll do one more just to show you. You know what? I'll do one with too high of a feather. Whoops, I selected over there. I'll just deselect. Let's turn the feather up to like 10. But it's too high. I'm just showing you what not to do. Again, click, 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 click. Okay, if I hit delete, see how it's all soft and feathered? It ends up taking too much. So I'm going to undo that, Command Z, deselect, change my feather. You know what, even one feather is probably good for this assignment. So 1 or 2 or 1.5 even. All right, so click, click, and join them up and delete. You're going to replace all of the windows with your own pictures off the internet, okay? Make sure you search for larger images when you're using Google Images. You don't want to put little tiny images in there, okay? All right, the next tool I'm going to introduce you to is the magic wand. Can you imagine trying to lasso out around every little leaf there to get rid of the sky? So we're going to use the magic wand. All right, and it selects similar pixels. The higher the tolerance, the more it takes. So if I set my tolerance to 200 and I click on the white sky, right, it's going to take away almost everything. Undo, deselect. I think for this assignment 25 is probably good. So I click here. Now, I'm going to make sure that this is clicked so I can add to the selection, so I can keep adding. You see the plus sign? You can add more and more and more, all right? So I'm going to click this side. But be careful, if the tolerance is too high, it may take part of the building with it. Again, I'm going to change my tolerance to about 15 and hit that. And I'm going to zoom in and just pick some of those spots in between. Maybe the bluer ones as well. Now here's the secret. Under the word select, you can go similar, and it's going to try to pick all those white spots in between all those branches. So I do that, but I'm going to unzoom a little bit, make sure it didn't take too much. Now it has, all right? It has picked part of my building or part of the ground as well there because those pixels are similar in color. So we're going to subtract those out with the regular lasso, and we're going to make sure it's set to subtract. Subtract from selection. So I'll zoom in a bit. I'm going to subtract this stuff here. Just make a loop around it and it'll subtract it out. So now it's gone. And I don't want to lose this stuff here. So I can make a big loop because it's a subtracting. It's not going to be part of the selection anymore. There was another little, oh, there's a few little treats in there. I'll just get little snacks, I call them. Alright, so I think that's good. I don't think, oh, there may be a little bit here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Alright, I'm going to hit delete, see how I did. Alright, deselect. I'm going to put a black color in the back. Now, it wasn't perfect. There's some blue in there still. It's not going to be perfect for your first time. I did put some advanced tutorials on the website that you can use on my classroom website to try and use an advanced skill. But for beginners, this is good enough. So I can try and clean this up a little farther than what I've got. So I'm going to use the magic wand again, and I'm going to click one of those blue areas here. And then I might try select similar again. But again, you run into the problem. So you'd have to subtract all that out. So do your best on this and try to get rid of most of the blue that you can, right? The last part of the tutorial, and I'm not done, like, don't get me wrong, like, this is not finished. I need to go in there, but just for the sake of the tutorial. The next tool is a masking tool, which is here. You click it, and you double click it, and you can choose what color you want to use. And I chose turquoise. I think the default is red. Make sure before you start that the black on white is selected. Then you use a paintbrush and you set the brush to whatever size you need. So I want to paint over the house. Now, it won't be a turquoise house. Don't worry about the color of this. This is another way to select. All right? Well, you're like, well, it doesn't look like a selection. Well, it doesn't turn into a selection until you exit. All right? Now, I need to inverse the selection because actually everything that's selected is everything but this. All right? So I have to go under inverse. Okay, I don't know if I got it. Let's try again. Yes, now I have this selected. And now I'm going to go edit copy and then edit paste. You're going to get a whole new layer of that piece of the house. Don't believe me? There it is. Now let's imagine I did all of the whole building, okay? And now I'm going to go under Image Adjustments into the new copied layer, okay? And I'm going to do maybe Hue and Saturation or Color Balance. So I'm going to swing the hue and just change it slightly. It doesn't change that much because the house is fairly close and, you know, it's a gray house. I could also up the saturation as well, and then you get a bit more drastic change, okay? So that was kind of the quick, we went over the magic wand and the lasso and also this new tool here, the selection, the masking tool, all right? Quick mask mode. All right, thanks for watching.